Okay, you know the scene. It's 2 in the morning. You are just wiped. But your brain? Your brain is running a full-on marathon. It's replaying that one awkward thing you said in a meeting. It's worrying about tomorrow's to-do list. And for some reason, it's decided now is the perfect time to analyze every mistake you've ever made. If that sounds even a little familiar, you are definitely not alone. And there are some very real, science-based reasons our minds do this. So let's dive in. First, we're going to get into why our brains are wired this way to begin with. Then, we'll look at the vicious cycle this creates, especially late at night. And finally, we'll get into a whole toolkit of really powerful science-backed techniques to help you quiet your mind and actually get some rest.
All right, first step, let's get right to the root of the problem. Because here's the thing. This isn't some personal failing. It's actually a feature, not a bug, of your brain's built-in programming.
I mean, isn't this the most frustrating thing? That one little piece of criticism can stick to you like Velcro for years, but a bunch of compliments just slide right off. Well, the answer lies in this really powerful and frankly ancient cognitive bias. It's called the negativity bias. And again, it's not a flaw in your character, it's a feature of our wiring as humans. You can think of it like this ancient alarm system that's been passed down through generations for one single critical reason: survival. So thousands of years ago, if you heard a rustle in the bushes, that could be a predator. Missing that negative cue could be fatal. But missing a pretty flower, not so much. Our brains evolved to get really, really good at scanning for and fixating on what could go wrong. The problem is that ancient software is still running today, treating a stressful email from your boss with the same red alert urgency as a saber-toothed tiger. So, how exactly does this ancient programming cause so much trouble when your head hits the pillow? Well, it's because this negativity bias doesn't just happen on its own. It's the spark that lights the fuse on a really powerful emotional feedback loop, one that can feel absolutely impossible to escape once the distractions of the day fade away. You know, this isn't just random thinking. Psychologists actually have a name for it: perseverative cognition. It's a specific pattern where your mind gets stuck, just replaying and replaying stressors. And this mental loop has very real, very physical effects on your body. And this shows that vicious cycle perfectly. It just starts with one little negative thought. But then your body responds like it's a real threat and releases the stress hormone cortisol. That cortisol then puts your brain on high alert, making it scan for more danger. And what does a brain on high alert find? You guessed it, more things to worry about. And round we go. And listen, this isn't just the theory. Research, like this study, confirms it. The more you dwell on stress, the more you ruminate, the more you are literally training your brain to overreact to stress in the future. You're basically strengthening that feedback loop, keeping it going strong night after night. Okay, so now that we get the why behind all this nighttime overthinking, let's get into the good stuff, the how. How do we actually break this cycle before it even gets started? Well, this first tool is incredibly simple, and it's all about being proactive. It's called a worry dump, and the goal here could not be simpler. Get all those racing thoughts, those to-do lists, those anxieties out of your head and onto a physical piece of paper. This simple act tells your brain, hey, these are captured, you don't need to keep spinning on them anymore. I mean, look how simple this is. You're not trying to solve the problems, you're just getting them out. And it's shockingly effective. In fact, one study found that people who spent just 5 minutes writing a to-do list for the next day fell asleep way faster than people who didn't. It just works. Okay, but what if you miss your chance? You're already in bed and your mind is just buzzing. What do you do then? Well, let's look at a couple of powerful in-the-moment techniques designed for exactly that situation. All right, this first one is called cognitive shuffling, and it is fascinating. Now, this is totally different from meditation. You're not trying to empty your mind, which, let's be honest, can feel impossible when it's racing. Instead, you're going to intentionally give your brain something harmless and totally random to do. Here's how it works. You pick a simple, neutral word. For each letter, you just visualize a series of totally unrelated objects. The key is don't build a story, just flash the images. This works by basically elbowing those looping, worrisome thoughts out of the way and mimicking the kind of random fragmented thinking that happens naturally right before you fall asleep. Now, if your mind is racing, I can pretty much guarantee your body is in fight or flight mode. Your nervous system is all revved up.
But here's the cool part. You can manually override it. With specific breathing patterns, you can literally activate your rest and digest system instead, telling your body that it's safe to relax. So let's walk through a really simple but powerful one called the 4-7-8 technique. You can even do a round with me right now. First, with your mouth closed, just inhale quietly through your nose for a slow count of 4. Okay, now here's the crucial part for resetting everything. Just hold that breath for a count of 7. And finally, you're going to exhale completely through your mouth, making a gentle whoosh sound for a full 8 seconds. That long exhale is what really signals safety to your body. You just repeat that cycle maybe 3 or 4 times, and you will literally feel your body start to calm down. So these in-the-moment tools are amazing. They're like fire extinguishers. But to really create lasting change, you want to build them into a consistent, sleep-friendly nightly routine. This is all about fire prevention. You know, creating a wind-down ritual helps to naturally lower those cortisol levels, and it signals to your brain that it's time to get ready for sleep. Consistency is everything here. Simple things like putting the screens away, and this is a big one, only getting into bed when you're actually sleepy can make a huge difference. Now, this next one might sound a little weird at first, but it comes straight from cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, and it is a game changer. The idea is simple. You want your brain to have a super strong association between your bed and sleep, not your bed and lying there feeling anxious. So by getting up, you break that cycle of tossing and turning. Go somewhere else, keep the lights dim, and do something calm and boring. Read the instruction manual for your microwave. I don't know. What's wild is that some research shows the simple act of walking through a doorway can help reset your thoughts. Then you only go back to bed when you feel that wave of sleepiness hit you. So look, that negativity bias, that stress loop, they're powerful. They're baked into our DNA, but they are not your destiny. Just understanding these patterns is the biggest step because it gives you the power to interrupt them. By using these simple tools, the worry dump, cognitive shuffling, and building a smarter routine, you can absolutely reclaim your nights and turn your brain from a source of stress into your greatest tool for rest.